Hello and Happy New Year's, everybody. We are back at it once again here, 2021. A little snafu last week, no internet. And what internet we did have, it just was not enough signal to consist of a good live stream. So we're at it once again on the 13th. We missed the first Wednesday of the year, unfortunately. But we're gonna. I'm trying to hook up this Kindle so I can see myself talking here. Uh, Actually, it doesn't say that. Okay, it says we do have excellent condition. All right. So, thanks for joining me. We're going to be tying. I know I lied. Before we go too far, I want to preface. I will be changing the title of this video. This is not going to be a mini leech. This is going to be a full-size leech, a big leech, a bona fide big old leech. Oh, and it says we got no data. Huh. All right. Well, this is going to be intriguing to see if we do have a live stream going on. So, according to YouTube, it says it's down, but according to this, it's up, and it says that there's 0 viewers. But I did get a chat from Steve. I do have Steve in the house, and it says I got 4 others tuned in. So, guys and gals, I honestly, it's like I don't even know anymore with this internet. How can something so simple get so complicated so fast? Um, I don't know. I'm trying to, even pull this up because I can't pull this up before I do the live stream because there's nothing to pull up, at least on my end. Oh, bother. So, anyways, Happy New Year's, everybody. Have we kept to our New Year's resolutions thus far? 13 days in. Oh, now it looks like we're getting there. Here we go. Boop-doop-a-dop-a-doop-bop. Live stream. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we'll just have to drop the word mini off of this because I guess last week before I got into it, I did have something else in mind. But when it came time to it today, assembling stuff, going through hooks and different, I kind of went through a couple iterations already on this. But this is what I like, and this is what I came up with. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's get right to it. I got my cup of coffee. Let's spin this around so we can get the da 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 do dop do bop. All right, and I'll feel a lot better when I see my Vice on the monitor. I can hear myself. No, I can't hear myself. You can hear me. Can I hear myself? Yes, I can. There is an echo. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, let's get to it. All right, so like I said, I lied about the title on this. I know I said mini, and I'm actually going to go big. How big is big? We're going 1/0. I believe this is, I'd have to look this number up, the 32.5 or 756, 32756 mustads. I'd have to look that up to verify that that's actually its right number. I do have but I don't think this is going to be in that catalog because this isn't actually really a fly. This is not a fly hook. But here in central Minnesota and most of the upper Midwest, there is a fair number of us that go ice fishing. And a way to tie this is there's probably more ways to tie a leech than there are actually like actual types of leeches. So I don't know. So again, this is a 1/0. 32 5 756. There's the dyslexia kicking in. And thread tonight, we're going to be tying with a 210, and I'm just going to use this black. And we're going to go with a few different iterations of tying this, more or less. I don't know. Maybe not. I've kind of got this mapped out in my head already, so let's get to it. We got our hook. And this is a bona fide, not so good for you lead wire. I think it's point. I forget what I measured this out at, but this is about as big as a lead wire as you can get. And if you are going to be actually fishing with this, it might be a little difficult with a smaller rod. So you'd want a pretty stout rod, an 8 weight or so, to toss this big bad mamma jamma. So what I want to focus in on here is I want to make sure I got all my bits and parts. I don't have any bead heads or anything that are this big to throw on this. So I'm just going to use this chunky monkey lead wire. And the key that I want to focus in on is I want to keep this weight, as far forward as possible. And this isn't going to ride as easy as what do I want to say, balanced. There's a balanced leech pattern where you actually put the bead in front and you tie in a little stainless steel pin nail. Good evening, Mr. Anderson. Thanks for tuning in. And I was kind of thinking of you, Josh, when I was thinking of this pattern. And earlier I was thinking of a mini leech. And I don't know about you, but I find these big old jig hooks. You can find them pert near anywhere. But anyways, we're going to tie in our lead weight, our lead wire, and I'm going to tie this in a couple of times. You're going to see how we do this. We're going to tie this in on the top. I'm going to wrap my way back right about there. That looks good. And we like our lead wire because it bends and twists right off. Alright, not once. We're going to do it twice. Now this is going to be on the near side. So the first one was on the top. The second one is going to be on the near side. We'll run that all the way forward, leaving myself just a little bit of room up front for a head. Or a little bit of, I don't know, you just don't want to crowd the bend. And then we're going to take a bit and throw it on the far side. Same length. So we got 1, 2, 3 little bits of weight. And they're all on the top and on the sides of this. So go ahead and take a look at this. Oh, Steve, I'm kind of peeking around in the chat. Steve, you mentioned the pen. I will be sure to forward you the little write-up that Josh did send me, so you have a little bit of a written direction as far as how to what do I want to say, how to refill it, etc., etc. I got it printed off. I did print it off, and I was going to put it in the package that I sent that out on, but totally biffed that. So we got our weight, and it's probably maybe not as much as wrapping it 2, 3, 4 times, but it's up to you. You can just keep, nothing's going to stop you from just adding more weight. But then again, the more weight that you add, the harder it is going to be to just cast with as a fly rod. So anyways, we like our Congo hair, and we're going to be using a little bit of Congo hair for our tail. And I just got a little bit of brown, and this is going to be a brown leech. This I didn't mention that, but I also got, this is the dubbing we're going to be using for the body. A little bit of dubbing, little dubbing body. All right, so what do we know about fly tying? We know about material. We want to keep it sparse. Sparse is narce. So this initial piece, we're just going to take off of the bundle, just a small little patch. We don't need too much. Why is that, Aaron? Because we're going to take this, we're going to fold that over once. We're going to go ahead and just trim that. And then, you know what? Just because I'm feeling awesome about it, let's go ahead and fold that over not once, but twice. Now we got ourselves a nice little puff of this brown Congo hair. And proportion-wise, we like to keep things proportionate. We want to go about the length of a hook, typically for tails. Most patterns, most flies, you'll find that. So, actually, I'm going to see about, how's that fluff out? Just want to make sure I got a nice non-chomped edge. Alright, so there we go. So, one hook's length and maybe a little bit more. And that kind of takes us to right about here. So we'll just work our way from the front to the rear with that. I like that. We can go ahead and trim off this little bit of excess up front. Keep it nice and clean. It doesn't, your thread wraps never have to be super precise and perfect, especially on a big old fly like this. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right. Just keep it nice and tight and clean. You know what I mean? All right. So, what do leeches like? Leeches like blood. And when we talk about blood, what color do we think that is? When it's not in our veins, it's red. What do we got that's red? We've got a little bit of KF3. Who knows what KF3 is? Pop quiz. Type it up in the chat real quick if you know what KF3. We're going to expose it here in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and get it in the chats. First one to get it is going to be the unofficial winner of a chicken dinner, if you're into that sort of thing. But that's good old Crystal Flash. Boom. One sprig. Look at that. Why do we need one? Because we're going to multiply it by dividing. Now we got 2. Let's take that, match that up on the near side. We'll fold that over and match that in on the far side. So we got a nice little tail and a little bit of red Crystal Flash. Holy smoke. So I'm just catching it into the chat. So Steve was a master electrician. All right, Steve. Now this might make you chuckle. Back when I was in college, I was studying to be a journeyman professional stagehand. And through my apprenticeship program, I had to take a electrician's course. And the electrician's course I was taking was like journeyman's electricians, multi-phase, this and that. And, the electrical stuff that would kill you. I ended up taking this intro class not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times before I finally passed. And I did pass. And I thank the lady for failing me the first 3 times. Because, I don't know. I failed for reasons, and it was a tough class. All right, here we go. Upcycled copper wire. Actually, you know what? I just saw out of the corner of my eye. Let's see if the batteries work. And that's a swing and a miss, and that's not a CR2032. That's something different. Ugh. But this is approximately that small. Just a little bit of copper wire that I upcycled off of something. 0.01 something maybe, who knows. If you can read that, let me know in the chat. Anyways, so let's tie this copper wire in. It's kind of an orangish hue. I'm going to tie it in up front, work our way back. Because this is a big old heavy streamer. We're not worried about keeping the weight down. And my intention with this is, my hope is to actually go fish this under some ice. This is, I think, ice fishable. Maybe not so much mass to get it chucked out, a million miles on a fly rod, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. One of the things I love about this pattern is that it is a dubbing loop pattern. I don't know. I got a thing for dubbing loops. I think they're fun. So let's make ourselves a big old dubbing loop. A couple loops this way. A couple twists that way. And that's it. We'll bring our thread all the way up front. And I was going to throw a couple of turns just to help keep that from slipping off. All right. I still got my elementary electrical book somewhere with all my notes attached. But to be fair, I did wire my whole basement. I didn't kill myself, and here in a few weeks I intend on adding a 220 outlet to my main breaker box. Alright, so here we are. This is our dubbing. We're going to use some of this Fly Tyers Dungeon Leech dubbing. Now, I don't know. It's got so much magic in it, a lot of glisten and sparkle and shine. We're going to grab a little pinch of this, maybe a little bit more. That'll be enough, maybe. And what I want to do is I want to prepare this. I'm just going to kind of roll it into a little bundle first. And I'm just going to start pulling it and restacking that little bundle on top of each other. And then I'm just going to kind of grab it at the ends and then stack it back on top of each other. We're going to do that, I don't know, 3-4 times or so. And what that does is that's going to kind of get the fibers from this, from this to kind of a straightness. Adding some straightness to it. I believe in the biz they call this a hand stack, hand stacking the fibers. I'm not going to pull the book out quite yet. Alright, right here at the very end, put those in the middle, and then our last little bits. If you grab the last little bits, and then you just put them right in the middle. Alright, I need to set that down before I go too far. To go 2 bananas. Alright. A little bit of dubbing wax. A little wax never hurt. The thread we're using, the 210 Flymasters. Is it Flymasters Plus? No, it's a flat wax nylon there, we're calling it. Set that back off to the side. Alright. Back to our dubbing. Now that we've got it all oriented, we're going to start flattening it out on our fingertips. I find works best. Something about like so. And you know what? I think we're going to need a little bit more than this. This would be good for a small hook, but we're going to need a little bit more. So what do? Let's just grab another little pinch. And we'll prepare it the same way. I'm just pulling the fibers and then kind of restacking them. Pull and restack, pull and restack. Add that to my pile. There we go. That's a fair clump. Now we can really spread that out on the fingertips. I'll slide this out of the way so we can see it just a little bit better. Alright. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. About as even as you can get it to begin with. And we're going to go probably all 4 fingers. That's going to be kind of our little dubbing table, if you will. Alright, so we got it carefully secured on our little dubbing table, aka our fingertips. We got our line and our dubbing loop waxed. Nice big old size dubbing loop, plenty of room to work with. Split that bad boy open. Insert tab A into slot B. And there we got the start of it. And then we'll just take a second and see about making sure that's spread out nice and even. Here we go. And I don't know. Truth be told, if I'm making this look easy, it's really... I've done this enough times. This is a case of I've practiced this. I've got time and grade on making dubbing loops and messing around with this material. All right, so let's spin it to win it. Balance it right in there. You don't have to balance it. Just cradle it right there in that in your what do we call this tool? This is your whip finish tool, and we'll spin it to win it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I think that's going to be enough. You don't want to over tighten it. If you overspin it, things tend to snap and go pop and break. Alright, so we got this all kind of dubbed up, spun up. Let's take our Velcro. Any Velcro will do. You don't need a fancy Dave Coleman original Velcro brush. You could go with the humble man's approach, or we could be fancy pants. We like going fancy pants tonight. I like both kinds of Velcro. Your Velcro is directional. It does have a bias to it. You know, it might scratch scratch this way, but not scratch scratch that way. And that is a technical term, scratch scratch. Who knows what the generic term for Velcro is? I guess that would be kind of the military term. All right, we got this all kind of picked out, brushed out. I think we did a fairly good job on that. Yeah, in the chat, let me know if you know what the generic military term is for Velcro. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the term is stuck in my head. You know, I've always kind of chuckled at the, you know, how if you have ever ate an MRE, a meal ready to eat, man, brush this all towards the back. It's gonna kind of spin and twist a little bit, but as long as we get it started in the right direction, it will generally comply. And the more clean we can lay this down, the better we're going to be at the end. Hook and loop. Almost hook and loop, close. You might be correct, Josh. I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong, but the term that got stuck in my head is hook and pile fastener tape. Hook and pile fastener tape. I don't know why, but that's been stuck in my head ever since. Alright, so in my little dubbing loop, you know, it's not infinitely long. It has a finite length to it. And what I'm going to do when I wind this is I'm going to line up the front and this piece right here. So as I wrap, I should get a nice even distribution of the dubbing loop, and we should end right on time. Because it doesn't need to be, as the kids say, super thick. Here we go, especially as we get a little bit thicker. And we're going to run our copper wire through here in a minute. Bada boom, bada bing. So like I said, there's like probably more ways to tie a leech than there are actual leeches. So we're gonna do a couple variations. We're not variations, but we're gonna do some like this, and then we'll tie some. We'll add a what do you call it? A little egg up front, a little hot spot up front. We like that. A little egg sucking leech. All right, so we got that wrapped in. I'm gonna give that a couple more extra nice little tight wraps. We're gonna pick this out, brush this out with our we'll stick with our generic term, our Velcro. Alright, so here's the deal. I got the dubbing pulled out onto basically either side. Right, this way and that way. I'm not super focused in on it being exact, because ultimately in the end we want this to end up 360 all the way around. However, to get this wire through, I found that we'll just do one quick full loop in the back. It manages in sections, right? So I can take this little bit and I can pull that this way. Now the piece that wants to go down, I can pull that up, right? That side I can keep over there, and this side we're gonna muck it all up with the Velcro here in a minute anyways, so it's kind of one of those things, that processes that if you set yourself up, you really don't have to think about it too hard. And this is a sparse as narce moment. We're going to go through with our bodkin actually and pick out whatever materials we did get stuck. But in the name of keeping everything even, and there we have it, all the way up front. We'll lock this bad boy off. Oh no. The device is having trouble understanding. Well, I'm not even talking to you. So, service error. An unexpected error has occurred with the Alexa voice services. Please try again. If the problem persists, please contact customer service. Well, take off, you hoser. Alright. It's as simple as that. This is going to be our basic. Oh, now it's got volume. This thing has a mind of its own, I swear. Let's finish this off with a whip finish. It's kind of interesting to do, kind of around that funky angle. But with this little bit of added weight, and with this dubbing blend, oh, it is just magical. Let's grab Mr. Bodkin. And when I go to pick this out, my wire is laid at this angle, and I'm gonna just pick it out at that same angle. I just go in next to it parallel with the wire. And it's a balance like everything else. You want to pick enough out, but you don't want to disassemble Johnny 5, if you know what I mean. You can get in there and really dig at it, but if you dug too much, then you just, I don't know. And the less you get trapped in there to begin with, the easier it is. And if you end up trapping too much material to start off, and as you pick it all out, your tightness of the wire loses its effect as you pull the mass of the dubbing out. So, things to consider, something to ponder. That's why we keep it sparse. Less is more or less. Alright. Yeah, buddy. Now that, my friend, is looking leechy. I love this Canada brown color. It's just absolutely magical. So that is Leech numero uno. Questions, comments, complaints, concerns? Let's see here. Let me check the chat. Josh. You know what? I did get the link, and there was a snafu with it, and I think it was something on my end, and then I got distracted. But I will be sure to check that out again tonight. I need to write that down. And my pen, my pen that Josh made for me, cool. It's got the fly fishing swagger on it, but it's also army camouflage. Super hua, if you know what I mean. But that's actually, it's upstairs with our infinite game of rummy. It has been assigned permanent duty to the rummy scoreboard, which is a lot of fun. Who here plays rummy? I've been playing. Jess and I have been playing a game of rummy. I don't know. It's over a year on our score sheet, and we just keep going higher and higher. It's like 30,000 to 30,000. I mean, it's like, I don't know, just a small little notepad. And we just keep going with it, and yeah, the score just continues. And it's relatively close. I mean, it is definitely far from a blowout. Currently, I am ahead. Um, you know, I am kind of regretting not having any red in that on the head. So I think I'm gonna do something about that. Let me load up a bobbin right quick. I don't necessarily want a big giant mass on this first one. I just want to go back and add. Well, wait a minute. Do I see what I see? I see what I saw. Nice. Alright, this is going to be a nice switch. So we're just going to send this one as is. We're switching threads. We're going to switch it up to a red. Because I thought I couldn't find it, but then I just found it. I want to tie this with a 210 because it's a big old hook. There we go. We're going to switch it to this from black to red. Yeah, we're going to just let that first one be. Brush this out one last time. There we go. I like it. A red UV finish. I don't have a red UV. Do I? I? No, I got purple. Oh, I got a little bit. Actually, you know what? We'll experiment with this. I got some of this. That's a hot ass orange. Alright, we're going to let that one be. Let her be, let her be. We're going to just let that first one let her be. I'm going to set that bad boy out of the side. Oh yeah, it's a... Setting that right up. Who remembers these leeches? Haha. We tied these leeches not that long ago. This was with a different... This is with a... oh, what do you call it? Leech yarn. But we're doing this with dubbing today. Alright, here we go. From the top. 40 minutes in, we are jibber jabbering. Mr. Coleman, thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year's. So we got, you know, the gang's all here for the most part. There's, what, 6, 7 of us tuned in tonight so far, right now. And I don't know if everybody was here at the beginning, but I'll start off, or, you know, as I started off, I, you know, apologize for not having a live stream last week. Our internet was down, and what internet we did have, it wasn't enough to sustain a successful live stream. Again, I don't know if this is the proper hook or the proper box, hooks in the box. I think they are. I can't verify this on my fly fishing must-add fly hook catalog that I have next to me. This isn't in there, but this is a, I believe it's a 32-756. It is a 1/0. Man, made in Norway. Who here doesn't love must-adds? Alright, so again, we switch to our 210. We'll start this up front. And we're going to go to our wire. And with our wire, again, this is our bona fide lead wire. I'm not sure what this was harvested off of. This is not from the fly tying catalog supply, whatever. This is just some beefed up lead wire I got somewhere. And if you are tying with lead wire, especially if you're tying with a lot of it, wash your hands when you're done. You don't want to get any of that, especially if you wash your hands and eat. No sense of giving yourself lead poison. So we're not going to wrap it around. We're not going to get all dizzy doing that. We're going to set it on top. We're going to go, yeah, that'll be enough. And we'll go back a little bit. About 1/3. That's always a good rule to follow in fly tying, although it is not a rule, but it is a rule of thirds. We always like that 1/3, 2/3 spice of life. Let's go ahead and get that one back. So we got top, near side, and far side. Alright. If we wanted, we could add more. You could wrap it around. You know, adding the weight is up to you. Entirely up to you. So let's go ahead. What we didn't do last time, that we could do this time, is add just a little touch of insurance policy in there, even though it's not entirely necessary. I don't think. A little secret sauce, never hurt nobody. Now we can just wrap our thread into that. And you know where that's going? You guessed it. Know where that's where. Looking leechy already. So there we go. We got a little bit of wire on the top, the near side, and the far side. And then guess what? That doesn't affect anything in our hook gap, although I don't think I'd worry about that too much anyways. But it does give us a little bit of a dense mass right there. In fact, what we could do real quick, What did I do with that first one? Ooh, I am good. Oh, nobody saw that. Just kind of weight-wise, that's where we're looking at for it just kind of naturally hanging. Of course, if you give any kind of current to it, we should be riding hook side up, and if you start dredging it along the bottom, she should hold up fairly well. So that's kind of the concept with that. Alright, so a little bit of tail. Oh, I didn't add any of the... I'll add that this time. Maybe, perhaps. Maybe it's not even necessary. A little bit of brown Congo hair. And we know less is more because we don't need to go super heavy with it. We know sparse is narce. And that's not a rule either. Sparse is narce is not a rule. It is a way of life. Are you with me, people? Alright. Trim that once. We'll flip that once more and we'll give that another trim. Alright, so we got our edges. That looks like a decent taper. It's not a flat cut like that side. Alright, measure that out. We got about a hook's length. And that looks good right about there. And we can just tie this in front to rear. Actually, this one did come out just a wee bit longer. You know what? I'm going to back that up just a little bit. Yep, 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 yep. That was me untying it. Alright. I'm liking the way that's looking. A little bit of Congo hair at the rear. Do I dare? Yeah, not needed. I got this kind of copperish, angel hairish stuff, and I don't think that's necessarily needed in this. Alright, let's go ahead and grab our KF3, a little red crystal flash. One piece. Multiply by dividing, trim that loop. Now we got two. Not one, but two. We'll tie this on the near side. Go forward just a little bit. Fold it over. Even it up. And bada boom, bada bang on the far side. Nice tight wraps. I'm liking that. Thank you, Mr. Dave. You are the man behind the curtains right now. I appreciate it. So the hook is in its correct package. It's in the right box. Alright, so we got our tail in, or this in, or that in. Now we're adding in our ribbing, our wire. This is an upcycled copper wire. It comes from no store. Piece of electronics, some sort of doodad. Again, I'm not the electrical I'm not the electrical engineer around here. Let's tie that in on the near side just to keep it easy and in sight. In fact, I wonder... Nope, 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 nope. Ah, here it is. Here's the lead wire, 0.35. Warning. Who in their right mind would write the size right on the warning label? This guy. I don't know where the little it's somewhere. Here's somewhere, my friend. That could have been the last of it. I don't know. Find wire, save it. You never know when you might need it. If it's too fine, I don't know. Got to be careful. All right, dubbing loop time. Loop de loop. Give ourselves plenty of length on our dubbing loop. Nice big loop will be fine. Maybe not that big. Couple of twists that way. A few wraparounds. That's going to be it. Advance our thread forward. One rotation on the whip finish is a half hitch, I believe. Alright, wax our line, get that prepped. It's all about staying a half a step ahead of yourself, because you can't be a half a step behind. If you try to wax your thread after you've done your dubbing loop, things are not going to work out well for you. Nice sticky thread, that's what we're looking for. Alright, rub-a-dub-dub. Let's grab our dub. This is Leech dubbing, Canada Brown. Who here has fished in Canada? Do we have any friends from up north? I have fished in Canada. I have a trophy for fishing in Canada. Not that I was a wee little tyke. We'll have to go back through the archive of videos, because I believe I've shown that once or twice in the past. Kind of twist it up a little bit. What we're doing is we want to get our fibers parallel for this loop. Pull and stack, pull and stack. Give it a little bit of a twist. I like that. You don't want to go too dense with this. There is that fine line. Put it on your fingertips. I find that works best. To work this is right on your fingertips. Kind of space that out, stretch that out. We got all these fibers, and they're all facing dress right, dress, left to right, right to left. So, fish on to shine. What's going on? Oh boy, oh boy. I got a little, trying to untwist this. Get this back into my loop. Alright, best bet. Insert tab A into slot B just to get it in there. Is Fish On to Sean tuned in tonight? You guys sitting there together? Hanging? Fishing? I don't know, it's pretty dark. I doubt you guys are fishing right now. Got some bass out of your lake, out of the ice. Spin it to win it. Here we go. I am totally digging this. Alright, let's take our Velcro and brush this all out. In fact, just around, just above me, I actually have my Muskie Bay hat. Electric neon yellow. That was the color of the times, man. You couldn't get any cooler than me. unless you were my brother. I believe he had the bright pink one. He could spot us a mile away, and I'm pretty sure that was by design. Of course the kids can have these bright fluorescent hats. Alright, let's go ahead and pull this back to the rear. Alright, so we got a little bit of a gap right here from the what do we call that? The shank to where the actual material is. So instead of winding this super tight right back there, giving that a little bit of bulk, I'm actually going to go forward with that. Just a little bit, maybe one wrap, and then I can sneak the material back, and instead of it building up too much bulk right there just on top of itself at the rear, we got a little crisscross. And again, I'm drawing my imaginary line from the front of the fly to where my material is, just this nice little triangle. Trying to maintain that position as we go forward with this. And that'll give us the optimal amount of wraps, because it's not necessarily touching wraps. This is just a nice little evenly spaced, sparse as nurse. Tell the friends about it kind of job. Space that out just a little bit better. We're going to stretch this out a little bit more. So we're going to rewind some of these just to space that out just a little bit more. We didn't gain too much out of that, but we're gonna add some magic up front on this one. So let's not worry too much. So I guess we could have went just a little thicker with the dubbing. Alright, let's throw couple turns on the whip just to keep it in shape. Just for meow. Alright, that's good. Boy, I need a sip of coffee after that. All right, Mr. Velcro, where'd you go? And the thing about the Velcro is every now and then you get to harvest it and you get more dubbing back. There we go. Because you can clog it all up. And that's just as simple as picking it out with a bodkin. Alright. Ooh, I'm liking the red coming through on that. Alright, I'm going to kind of go on to the left and the right just to kind of keep it simple. Alright, let's do one full turn at the rear, then we'll start creeping this forward. do our best not to trap too much. But if we do, guess what? It's not going to be the end of the world because we've got Mr. Bodkin on our side. Have you guys met Mr. Bodkin? The bench monkey? Yeah, I know you have. Alright, well. Bzz, bzz. Come on. Well, for whatever reason, this one's all ending up on the top. But either way, we've come to our end. We'll clean that up, pick it out. Trying to balance all this. Alright, we'll just clean up that little bend in the road there. Give it a little, I don't know, why not? Whoop, squeak, squeak. Whip, whip. 1, 2, tray. Alright, we're going to go through and pick this out, and then we're going to add some goop up front, some magic, and see what happens. Alright, that's got our initial cleanup. Here's Mr. Bodkin. This bad boy's juicy. Yeah, buddy. Ooh, there's a nice little chunk. Have you ever thought you'd be sitting around a Wednesday night with a bodkin picking out your leeches? Here you are. It's fun though. I wouldn't rather be doing anything else. Hot dog, I like it. What side are you wanting to be on? You are that side? Nope, you're this side. Back to this side. Alright, so now we're going to try some experimental. Let's make sure our UV light works. Ba-ding, ba-ding, ding, dong. Alright. So this is some fluorescent red. I don't have too much of this. I do got a lot of working area up front, so we might just brush this on and then holy smokes. Alright. We're not going to just brush it on. We're going to have to apply this with the bodkin. this is a UV product, so once we get this all gooped on, it's just a matter of set it and forget it. Know what I mean? Holy smokes. Let's turn that on. Well, thank you, Brazil. Thank you for tuning in. Here we go. You know, it doesn't look super hot, but ooh, you know what we could do on part 2 is I do have some glow in the dark. Ooh, let's add a glow in the dark head. How about that? Alright. And I know I mentioned to wash your hands after dealing with lead, but also with the UV products. You know, to put a word of caution out there, there are some individuals that have had reactions, broken out into rashes or hives. Where are we at? We're at 1700, 1900. All right, we're doing good. Got 9 of us turkeys in town. Gobble till you wobble. It's Wednesday the 13th. Hot dog. All right, so let's go ahead and do another one. I think we're slowly evolving on this. Let's set that one off to the side. And from the top, mustard all the way from Norway, made in Norway, companies out of Auburn, New York. Key brand fish hooks. Anyways, these are mustard 37. Man, the dyslexia kicks in. As I was, these are 32756 size 1/0, and there are no longer 100 in the package. There was, I'm pretty sure there was. Let's get this in the vise. Alright, here we go one more time. 210 denier flat wax thread. We like that. And let's go ahead and get her started. So my phone just buzzed. I don't know if that, it shouldn't come through because the microphone on the phone/camera isn't activated. The only microphone is my headset. It's the only way to hear, and it's a headset, but I don't even monitor myself. Alright, where did our wire go? It's our heavy duty chunky monkey lead wire. We're going to add a little strip on top. About a third. The old 1 turd, 2 turd. Alright, line that up about the same length. And then we'll do it on the far side. And I try to kind of line it up with the top. So we're getting that mass that mass up there. I think it also, I don't know how much it really translates through, but I think it gives it a little bit of a shape. Like I said at the very top of this live stream, there's probably more ways to tie a leech fly than there are actual leeches. So, imagination will be your only limitation. A little secret sauce on top. Secret sauce, I mean that is our Sally Hansen's. And we'll just run that through there one more time. Spin my thread counterclockwise or anti-clockwise. Flatten that out. That way when I get up here, it lays nice and flat. Definitely overkill done there, but hey, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Alright, tail. We're going to stick with the brown. Normally I switch, you know, tails and junk like that, but tonight, we're going to kind of keep it. The only thing we're really changing is the front end. Alright, a little brown Congo here a little bit. Goes a long way. Because we're going to fold it over once. Trim. We'll fold it over twice. Trim. Make sure we got a decent little taper there. We don't want it to be a flush cut. We'll go about a hook's length, maybe a little tick more, not much longer. And a hook's length all the way back there, slide that up. That'll work. All right. Flash. Where's the flash? There we go. A little crystal flash. This will give us a little sparkle, a little bit of color in that tail, back half, because the front half we got a little bit of a red Pikachuing through underneath the dubbing from the thread, so it gives it a little bloody business. All right, one piece of red crystal flash. We'll multiply by dividing because we like doing that. Now we got two, but they're half as long. Tied it on the near side. Run our thread forward just a little bit. And then we'll run our thread back as we fold it over. And I've discovered, at least with this particular length, running that little bit of thread forward, tying that little bit in, it helps with the fold over on the far side. If you just had it just right there and try to move it over to the far side and tie it in, your flash will probably end up sticking up on top somewhere or something like that. So give it over here a little bit, and that also burns up just enough of that crystal flash that, look at that, the tips are perfectly matched. I like it. Alright, where are we at? We need our copper wire. Again, this is some upcycled, recycled copper wire. It was from something. I really wish a little buzzer or something, a little transformer. Let's tie that in right about there. I like that. Work our way to the rear. Dubbing loop time. Let's get loopy. Oh boy, oh boy. Whoa, it's crazy the amount of thread that is hanging out of the bobbin. Here we go. Because I want a sizable loop this time. I think I went just a little too sparse last time. Alright, let's park this bad boy up front. There. You know where that's going? Nowhere. That's where. Let's get our line waxed. And this is just a medium tack, or not a medium, but a low tack wax. We'll do this in 3D. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look out, look out, look out. Alright. So the line is waxed. I also have this somewhere in a midnight black. Nice pinch. Alright, let's go ahead and start prepping this. Kind of give it a little tug. We're gonna align the fibers by pulling and stretching, not stretching, but just lining them up. If you got some loose ones at the end, those are the ones we want to pinch off and then just kind of add them back into the mix. And in the end, we should have a nice little dubbing pile. Everything more or less lined up. Alright, spread this out on our fingertips. Just gonna spread it out, spread it out, spread it out, and we got it. Yeah, this is looking a little denser than last time, which we'll be able to distribute that. Insert tab A into slot B, just like that. And I'll get my whip finish. If we look at the thread, you might be able to see it, might not be able to see it, but at the very tip of this thread, here we go. So the thread is split, right? Not much pinching that loop together, but when we get our whip finish tool in there, it takes the thread and it pinches it together a little bit closer. Perfect? No. Closer? Yes. I'll just give that a nice even distribution. We want to make sure we keep it also even side to side too. And if it's not perfect, well, then guess what? It's just not perfect. That's okay. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, initiate launch sequence. Alright, so it got caught up there, a little bit of twist around the tool. There it goes. Now it's free. And that's how I do my dubbing loops. I've had the dubbing tools that have the spreader, but I have not found that I need assistance in spreading. I need more assistance keeping it closed and tight, because it's only open but for just a moment, for the tab A into slot B moment. But we'll just clear this out. looking good here. Alright, let's take this all the way back to the rear. We'll do a nice one solid loop there at the rear. And then it's just a matter of evenly spaced open spiral, palmering this forward in a likewise manner. I love how sparse this is coming out. It's dense but sparse. It's sparse. The name of the game is even. Yeah, buddy, nice little bit of room up front. Perfect. Alright, let's pop that bad boy up there. Alright, and we're going to take a couple of turns on the whip finish just to make sure that goes nowhere. Okay. Feeling better about it already. That's intense. I need to take a sip of coffee after that one. All right. So one of the things I've kind of told myself I need to do a little bit better of a job at it. Not that it matters. It matters, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to ask everybody to just take a quick moment and, as they say on all the other YouTube channels, smash that like button. Just go ahead and just smash it. Give me that thumbs up. Tells the computer that you like what you see, and hopefully others will get sent this direction. But I'm not like super huge into, I don't know. I'm not going to say I've given up on building my audience, but I don't see the point of it actually, other than just like you end up just basically tooting your own horn all the time. And who wants to do that? Because I don't get any ad revenue or anything off of my channel. This is, I don't know what YouTube throws for ads on here because I don't place any ads on this channel. So hopefully for you guys, it's not going to be advertisement free, I don't think. But what I won't do is I won't sit here and tell you how to subscribe to this or that or tell you what to buy or whatever. I just talk about things that I like. You know, I am sponsored by no one. I'm not going to say I endorse nobody, but I do got friends all over. And when I say friends, that's what I mean companies I work with, or I guess Fly Life Company, I guess I am an ambassador with them. All the Fly Life hooks. It's not like I get them for free. Ain't nothing in this world for free. No such thing as a free lunch, right? Boy, I don't know what's tougher, wrapping through dubbing like this or rubber legs. One of the things I will say that I do enjoy is the chat and comments that I get to read. long as you're not a sex bot spammer, your comments are always welcome. Always. When I'm wrapping this in, I'm wrapping it in guten tight. Alright, I think that's going to be us right there. Alright, we're going to go with the glow in the dark on this bad boy. Boy, that kind of got a little funky monkey twist on it. Let's go ahead and make sure that's tied in pretty decent. That's the problem with build that up. Why not? Big old thread. We'll do a big old head. Big old head. Why not? We're not going to crowd the eye. You can tie as big as a head up front there as you want, and you're not going to crowd the eye unless you start creeping down there. We're not into that right now. There we go. I like it. So before we brush it, lay it all flat, you want to just kind of brush it all out and perpendicular. You want to make it a mess before you clean it up. I think we did a fairly good job at not trapping too much junk in there. It's never going to be perfect, nor do we ever want it to be. Maybe not perfect, just ideal. Ooh, that's ideal. That'll work. Let's just throw that on the floor. There we go. Boy, I kind of like just that redhead up front. That looks pretty groovy. I think we're at our glow in the dark. So this is a, where is it at? I'm looking for a pink bottle. There it is. It is a thick, hard Solares, and I gooped it out of the bag, so I put it in a bag. I got it labeled glow because this bad boy glows in the dark, and it's thick. Ooh, it's thick, boy. It's thick. Couple strays stuck in there. Get out of there, you. And we'll just make sure when this kind of settles, we'll make sure it settles in a nice, orderly fashion. I think that's us right there. And then we'll set it and forget it. Oh, you can see it starting to glow. You can see it kind of glowing in the dark. So I suppose if you were to charge this up and then drop this into the proverbial ice hole, that's going to be the bee's knees. All right. I'm really liking this one. Yeah, buddy, that's a killer looking leech, I think. Let's drop this in here. Can't do that. Just extend it out in front of me like that. Let's see if we can't do it a little bit closer. Here we go. So as gravity holds it, you know, it's just ready to flip up. It just wants to, just a little bit of current, a little bit of jiggy. I think this is going to be a pretty spectacular, especially with this glow in the dark. With the red and the glow in the dark. I think that's it right there, baby. Yeah, boy. Let's see. We got time for one more. What do we think? I think we should try to just grind it out. Crank one more out. What do you think? Questions, comments, concerns? Thoughts, advice, dreams? Keep your nightmares to yourself. I don't want to hear about them. We all got our own. Alright, let's do one more. One more once. So we got these down to roughly about a 30-minute tie with a bunch of jibber jabber intermingled in between. From the top, we've got our Mustad 32756. Why not? Big ol' Leech. Big ol' Leech. B-O-L. Have you seen a leech that big? I mean, and that's what we're calling it, a leech. I mean, is it actually a leech? No. 210 denier flat wax thread in the color of red. It's brought to you by the color red. Alright, let's get our wire, our weighted wire. And it's about the same diameter as the shank of the hook, which is why I went with it. Nice and chunky. Let's take that back about a third. And we'll do another piece on the side. Boom. And the far side. I think the far side is my favorite side. And this technique is also a good technique to, if you're tying a woven nymph, it's a great way to get things nice and flat, if that's what you're really going for. For us, it's just kind of a byproduct of the design of it here. Insurance policy up here, why not? Put a bead on it. I don't have a bead big enough for a 1/0 jig hook. My biggest bead that I have is just a 4mm, and I don't think I could get this on and around I think the hook's just too big. Too big of a hook. I need a smaller jigs to accommodate. But earlier, Josh had mentioned, he was asking me for looking for some bigger hooks or some bigger beads, and I couldn't find them. And I found my stash, and the biggest ones I have are these size 4s. Anyways, let's get our tail in. And for our tail, brown Congo hair. I love this Congo hair. It's so universal. You can tie it in a lot of different things. Small little piece. We'll multiply by dividing. Trim our loop. Pull it over once more and trim that. Alright, we'll go about a hook's length. There are boots. Why am I having difficulty with this? Come on, brain. There we go. Alright, we need our ribbing. Again, our upcycled copper wire. And we'll run that down the side. Wait, back the train up, back the train up. We forgot something. Who knows what we forgot? Let me know what we forgot in the comments. I know what I forgot. Forgot our crystal flash. Here we go. Alright, one piece of crystal flash. Red, one each. Trim it in half. We'll tie half on this side, on the near side. Go forward just a little bit. We'll flip it over, rotate on the far side, line it up, and it's a thing. Alright, here we go. Let's get our dubbing loop going. I mean, it wouldn't have been the end of the world if we forgot the got the flash, but I mean, why bother without it? And now we're forgetting to do our wire. You could tell I'm getting tired. Let's get our wire in there. Getting tired, I'm feeling rushed. We're towards the end of the live stream. I don't know. I can come up with all sorts of excuses. Do you want to hear them all? Alright. How are we going to do that? Okay, I think we got all our bits and parts on now. We'll secure this from running away. Ooh, that's intense, man. Sometimes, I don't know if I know I'm not the only one, but sometimes when I tie a fly, I get to certain points. You just have to lean back, take a breath, relax your shoulders, relax your back, and tell yourself, Namaste. Alright, we'll get our line waxed. I don't know, for whatever reason, sometimes it's just hard for me to call this thread. I'm used to calling things lines. There's no ropes on a boat, just lines. Drink more coffee. Yes. I like that idea. That sounds like a plan. I'll grab an adequate amount of dubbing. This is our last one, so I'll pick up our scraps off the table. Add that into the mix and pull. Flatten it and pull. Stack it and flatten it and mat it and back it and roll it and twist it. When you do roll it, you don't want to, you're not twisting it, you're just kind of gathering the clump a little bit tighter. You don't want to do it all night, but a certain amount of times. A non-zero amount, as they say. Alright, this is a big piece. This is going to be our thickest one yet tonight. Wow, that's thick. This is going to be dense, baby, dense. Alright, let's get this into the loop. Alright, tab A into slot B. Too easy. Alright. Spread this all out. Uniform is what we're looking for. Alright, let's go ahead and give that a spin. Oh, put the brakes on it. There we go. Alright. Boy, this is our densest one yet tonight. I think we might have Might have overdone it. I don't know. We'll see once we start picking this out. That's not too bad. A little thick in a couple of areas, but it shall work, I think. If you don't have, Velcro, I mean, this is, can do it with a Mr. Bodkin, but taking metal to a thread like this would be risky. It's already risky with the kind of chunkier bits in here, but there we go. You can feel the bumps in there. Here we go. I think perhaps this is called Canada Brown instead. If I were to name this, I would call this Chewbacca Brown, but I don't. Can't do that. It's copyright. All right. Yeah, this is thick, baby. Keep that pulled back. That way we don't trap it as we wrap it. Nice and even distribution. As long as it's not getting trapped, that's what we're mainly concerned about. Yeah, this is gonna be so thick. Oh, this is gonna be super Leech. This is the Leech that like cut everybody off at the cafeteria counter. I don't know. Who here has had a Leech attached to them, either by accident or for medical reasons, I guess. I've never had a Leech on me. Not that I can recall. Actually, no, I take that back. I've had one Leech on me one time. It was a church youth group trip, and we were going to the Porcupine Mountains. And I remember I got a Leech stuck on my foot, and I just ran to the hot tub, and I just put my foot in the hot tub, and the Leech popped off. We were staying at a little hotel, motel, whatever, on our way out to the state park. And I want to say it was Lake Superior up there, if my memory serves me correct. All right, let's try to bring this mess forward. Try a toothbrush. Well, I don't have a toothbrush with the bristles chomped halfway down, but I got my this brush. We're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet. Let's get our wire brought forward, and then we'll really brush this bad boy out. I'll get the mandatory kind of wrap right there at the rear. bring us forward. And it's not going to be perfect because you're not going to prevent them all from getting trapped, but you can minimize the damage, reduce the pain and the agony. Oh, this is thick. This is way too thick up here. Man, it's almost not even fair. But, I don't know, it's just a matter of taking your time. So this is, yeah, like I said, I got to go back. I got to change the title of this video, because last week we were going to tie a mini leech, and I lost internet connection, and I never even got to sitting at the bench tying anything. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Trying to do all that with a bodkin in my hand still. Looking good. You went trapping for leeches. Holy smokes. How do you trap a leech? I'm trying to envision like a little, I don't know, animal trap, like a canine trap for like a fox or a squirrel or something like that. But that's not how you catch it. You don't catch it with a big old claw. That'd be silly. Alright, we're going to leave ourselves a little bit of room back here. Here we go. Alright, that'll work. Good enough to give it the old whip finish. That should work. Alright. Let's go ahead and find Mr. Bodkin. Actually, we want to Velcro first. Yeah, buddy. Alright, let's pick it out. Super thick in a couple areas, so go right parallel with the wire in between the little sections and just pick it out. I don't know how else to explain this part of the process. Yes. Alright, let's add our UV to this little head. I've been thinking about doing dubbing, but I really like the way that glow in the dark ended up last time, so we're gonna do that again. Alright, little dab on the bodkin. And we'll just give that a nice even coating. Alright, let's get this just a little bit closer. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta let gravity help. Usually it does. Gravity has yet to fail me yet. In every instance where I've anticipated gravity to be there for me, it always has been. Gravity's never not been there for me. Alright, what do we got? A question. I got a couple questions here, a couple things in the chat. Oh, here's the description on the trapping leeches. Coffee cans with inward cones for the lid. Some meat, something floats, drop it in the water, come back the next day, pull it out, and the rest repeat. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I never knew that. I don't know. And did I put a handle in my comb / brush? Well, it's a Dave Coleman original. Dave likes me. I get all the fun stuff. I see one spot that I didn't get underneath. So a veteran at Project Healing Waters turned us on to the eyelash brush. I think I have another one somewhere around here. Yeah. And I've been using them, and I'm actually going to go through. I don't know, trim that brush down, and it's just great because it's great for cleaning everything out. Anyways, Dave did me a solid and hooks me up, put a handle on it. So, but this is the e.l.f. brow comb and brush. So that's that. All right. Looks like most of the crowd's kind of petered out, so I think that's going to be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. We got some leeches tied. I'm really excited about this. This one's going to be a nice one to get wet. Let's go ahead and spin around. And it's a basic leech. And like with all flies that I tie and present, I'll never claim to be the way. It is a way. A way to tie. So, well, I think that is going to be it for meow. Turn that off so I can see myself. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, that's the leech. Who knows what we're going to tie next week? I don't know what we're going to tie next week. We'll think of something. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, I got some ideas. Maybe we'll do a small little dry fly or something next week. I don't know. But thank you for tuning in. Listen, I didn't mention it at all tonight. But here in the U.S., things aren't right. Things aren't going good. There's a lot of tension. And one thing I just want to leave with everybody, the only thing we have control over is ourselves and how we can respond to our own environments. And with that, be vigilant out there, take care of yourself, be kind, and like Mr. Rogers says, when it's going down, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers. And if you can't find the hero, if you can't find that helper, be that person. Be that hero, be that helper. Do the right thing. Don't do what people are pressuring you into doing or telling you what to do. Deep in your heart, what is right, and I encourage everybody to stand by that and do the right thing. Let's have a good time. Let's do some fly tying together down the road someday. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please stay healthy, everybody. Please stay safe over the next week. Happy tying, tight lines. Peace.